You can always make more money, but you can't always repair relationships. So we're looking for win-win situations because ultimately the family wants to be able to get along. We start with the fact that we are committed to representing everybody. We're not going to be pitted one against the other. We're there to represent the entire members of the family, etc. And so we're looking for win-win situations because ultimately the family wants to be able to get along. We've often said that you can always make more money, but you can't always repair relationships. So first of all, we're going to meet individually with each individual, asking them questions to understand what's important to them, and trying to build some type of an idea of what do that we have in common, where are the starting points where we can collaborate to find a solution that will work for everybody. Looking for that commonality, and then trying to determine where are expectations unreasonable, because there's a pretty good chance that some of their expectations of each other are unreasonable, and we need to talk those out. We want to get them to answer the question, what are you going to need to do to resolve the conflict? What role do you play in? The only person that you can change is you. You can influence the other person, but you're more likely to influence them if you've taken a good hard look at yourself and what you need to do, and then to address your issues so that you make it a little easier for that person to come in your direction. Then it's, what do you expect from the other person so that we can resolve the conflict? Again, pointing out though, if you're not willing to address where you fit in the whole situation, and to take responsibility for the actions that you are causing that create the conflict, then you probably aren't going to get the other person to move in your direction. I think one of the other things that happens is that people tend to play tapes. What I mean by that is, he's doing it again. I can never depend on him. He's always late. There he is. He's late again. She's not dependable, etc. And these tapes are going to play in your head, and sooner or later, it's really easy to build up a huge case that says, I'm absolutely right, the other person's at fault, these are the reasons, etc. On the other hand, somebody that you like, somebody, your best friend, your spouse, whatever, you're going, isn't that person great? She's terrific. She just does it's wonderful. It's just great. And yeah, that was a stupid thing she did. It doesn't matter because she's so great. It's just terrific. And so what we do is when we are dealing with somebody that we like, we're building really positive tapes, and on the other side, we're building negative tapes. And those tapes are strong. It's hard to break those tapes. But basically, you begin to say, when am I going to give the other person the benefit of the doubt? And when am I going to begin to look for the things that other person is doing and to give them credit for it? Because let's just say the person's always late, and that's one of the parts of your tape that's playing. Well, they might have 10 times in a row that they come on time, etc. But boy, that one time when they screw up and they come in 5 minutes late. They're always late, always late. You didn't give them any credit for the 10 times that they were there on time. So that's when you've got to force yourself to look at, am I building negative tapes or am I building positive tapes? And am I willing to give the other person credit for the things they're doing right and the benefit of the doubt when they're doing wrong, so that you can begin to break the patterns that cause the conflict between you? Hopefully, the siblings are young enough and there's still time to address issues, etc., that you're concerned about. But first, you need to determine if both are contributing on a level that's similar. I don't mean doing the same things. I mean that they're operating effectively at a top level. The challenge of trying to put people together is you've got one person who's operating at a major league level and the other person who's operating at a high school level. That's very difficult to put them together. But assuming that they both come with hard work, commitment, talent, creativity, good attitude, all those kind of things that you want, then now we're on a basis where they're both making a solid contribution to the business, and we can build a partnership and help them understand that they're better off together than they ever are individually. We see this a lot where siblings think, well, there's only one who gets to wear the crown. Who's going to be at the top, because there's only going to be one leader. Well, immediately assumes somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and so I've got to race my sibling to the top of the mountain. Well, in contrast, what we'd like them to understand is that there's that most of the businesses we work with are large enough to have more than one person sharing the load. And if you've got a sibling who is really committed to the business like you are and working hard at it, etc., and in most cases has complementary skill sets that you can take advantage of for the overall benefit of the business, then working with that person is a whole lot better and competing against competition down the street, not here internally. I want to compete with my brother or sister. I want to compete with the folks down the street. But that demands that each of them come with the full commitment and really are the partner ultimately that the other person would choose, even if their name wasn't the same. What's in it for them? Well, first of all, if you really work well together, if you decide that I'm going to make my brother or sister an effective partner with me, and first of all, it starts with me being the kind of partner that my brother or sister would choose. If their name wasn't on the door, that they'd still choose me. And that's up to me to be that kind of partner. The next thing is we understand that because they have complementary skill sets, if I don't use them, I'm gonna need somebody else who's like them, because I don't have all the tools and I need that kind of complementary skill sets to run an effective business. Work-life balance is something we talk about a lot more today than we ever did years ago. Well, guess what? If you've got a brother or sister who's there and is committed to this whole thing as you are, it's a whole lot easier to have work-life balance under those circumstances. There are tremendous benefits to having a sibling working with you that helps you to be the best version of you, and together you can drive the business in the direction you want. Once you understand that those things are out there, you just have to be able to work through the issues that cause you to have the tension between each other, often things from the past, your past history, etc. It's worth working through those to get a sibling partnership.